They told you space is silent. Then Saturn screamed lightning 1,000 times stronger than Earth's, auroras humming in radio, a hexagon storm big enough to swallow a planet. Cut the classroom diagram. This isn't rings and a yellow ball. It's a machine that breaks the rules we use to understand worlds. Cassini dove through the gaps no mission had crossed, tasting ice from Enceladus, threading the blade-thin lanes between rock and vapor, and sending back a truth teachers never mentioned. Saturn's heartbeat doesn't match our math. Its magnetic axis lines up almost too perfectly. Its day hides in ripples etched into the rings like tree rings of gravity. And the storms? They don't just rage, they write history in the clouds. Here's the tension. If Saturn refuses the rules, every model of giant planets, of how solar systems form, starts to wobble. Tonight, we go past the postcards and into the engine room. If you're ready for the version they didn't teach, subscribe now and tell me, what did school miss about Saturn? Imagine aiming a spacecraft across billions of kilometers with nothing but math, gravity, and timing sharper than a surgeon's scalpel. Cassini's road to Saturn wasn't a straight shot, it was a cosmic slingshot ballet. First Venus, twice, then Earth, and finally Jupiter, each planet bending Cassini's path, flinging it faster, closer to the ringed giant. At one point, it skimmed just 1,100 kilometers above Earth's surface, closer than many satellites, while carrying 33 kilograms of radioactive plutonium in its heart. One wrong calculation and disaster would have poisoned headlines forever. But the gamble paid off. Those flybys built the speed Cassini needed to break free from the sun's grip. What sounds like routine engineering was really a 1 in 600 year opportunity, planetary alignment that won't come again in our lifetimes. Every maneuver was high-stakes choreography, and by the time Cassini approached Saturn's golden haze, it had already defied the odds. While Cassini orbited, a smaller passenger prepared for its own destiny. Huygens, the European-built probe designed to pierce Titan's shroud. For 22 silent days it drifted, asleep, armed only with a timer. Then 15 minutes before entry, it woke. What followed was a 2.5-hour descent into an alien sky thicker than Earth's, orange haze swallowing every view. Instruments tasted methane, nitrogen, pressure, winds. Scientists braced for splashdown into a methane sea, but Huygens instead settled on a frozen lakebed, pebbles scattered like bones of a vanished ocean. Its battery, built for hours, outlasted expectations, whispering data until the last volt. This was humanity's first landing in the outer solar system sound and vision, from a world colder than Antarctica, stranger than any desert. Titan revealed itself not as a barren moon, but as a mirror. Rivers without water, lakes without life, clouds of methane cycling like Earth's rain. For a brief afternoon, Huygens made Titan less myth and more map. As Cassini's fuel tanks neared empty, engineers faced a choice: let it drift aimlessly until systems died, or give it one last mission. They chose glory. Cassini was ordered into a series of death-defying dives, threading between Saturn's rings and cloud tops, a region no probe had ever dared. 22 dives, each closer than the last, gathering magnetic maps, ring samples, and portraits of storms wider than Earth. These weren't routine flybys, they were kamikaze passes, daring gravity to tear the spacecraft apart. Each orbit tightened the noose, pulling Cassini into Saturn's embrace. It wasn't a failure, it was design. By burning up in Saturn's atmosphere, Cassini ensured Titan and Enceladus, both potential cradles for life, would never be contaminated by Earth microbes. The grand finale wasn't just science. It was sacrifice and ending scripted to protect Discovery itself. During those finale dives, Cassini revealed the secret architects of Saturn's beauty, the shepherd moons. Atlas, shaped like a flying saucer, dust gathered thick around its equator. Pan, barely 30 kilometers wide, looked like a cosmic ravioli, carving the Anchor Gap clean as it orbited. Tiny Daphnis, only 8 kilometers across, stirred the rings like ripples in water, pulling strands of ice upward into waves kilometers tall. Cassini showed us these moons weren't just passengers, they were sculptors, constantly shaping, bending, and corralling the rings. And scattered among them were moonlets, no larger than snowballs, carving miniature propellers through the ice. In those thin lines, Saturn's rings came alive, not static but dynamic, a living system in constant motion. What textbooks once showed as flat bands of dust, Cassini revealed as a cosmic dance floor, choreographed by moons no larger than cities, performing on scales too vast to comprehend. Among Saturn's rings, Cassini uncovered something astonishing. They carried the planet's heartbeat. Spiral density, waves etched in ice, triggered by tiny moons swapping places every 4 years, recorded decades of orbital history. Like tree rings storing seasons, these ripples preserve time itself. Scientists realized the rings weren't just ornaments, they were seismographs, vibrating with Saturn's hidden motions. By measuring the spacing between crests, they decoded the planet's true rotation: 10 hours, 33 minutes, 38 seconds. For centuries, astronomers guessed at Saturn's day, masked by shifting clouds and misleading magnetism. Cassini turned guesswork into certainty. The answer wasn't hidden deep in the atmosphere, but carved into the rings, written in gravity's handwriting. Each wave, each oscillation, was proof that Saturn's rings are not passive, they're alive with memory, whispering secrets about the planet they orbit. In those frozen ripples, Cassini found the clock of Saturn ticking. Of all Cassini's surprises, none shook science more than Enceladus. Barely 500 kilometers across, this icy moon should have been inert, a frozen marble. Instead, Cassini saw fountains over 100 geysers blasting water vapor and ice crystals through cracks near the South Pole. The plumes fed Saturn's E-ring, creating a shimmering halo that only backlighting from the sun could reveal. Cassini dove through these geysers, tasting salt, organics, even complex molecules. Beneath Enceladus's crust, it confirmed, lies a global ocean kept warm by tidal flexing. In that hidden sea could be vents, heat, and chemistry, the ingredients for life. Suddenly, Enceladus wasn't just another moon. It was a candidate, a place where alien microbes might thrive in the dark, shielded from space by kilometers of ice. Cassini didn't just photograph beauty here, it discovered hope, a reminder that life might bloom in the unlikeliest corners of the solar system. Cassini's close encounters stripped away Saturn's serene disguise. From afar, the planet looks calm, golden, almost soft. Up close, it's chaos. Jet streams howl at 1,800 kilometers per hour, storms span continents, and once every Saturnian year, 30 Earth years, a great white spot erupts, circling the globe with thunder and lightning 1,000 times stronger than ours. At the poles, stranger still, the south hosts a hurricane, locked forever in place, its eye rimmed with towering clouds. The north holds the infamous hexagon, a 6-sided jet stream so vast Earth could fit inside a single edge. Decades passed, yet the hexagon never drifted, rotating with the planet itself like a celestial gear. Cassini's instruments revealed these tempests glowing in infrared, releasing more heat than the sun provides. Saturn's skies are not tranquil, they're a battlefield of winds, a laboratory of storms that defy earthly imagination. The 15th of September 2017. Cassini pierced Saturn's upper atmosphere at 123,000 kilometers per hour, thrusters straining to keep its antenna locked on Earth. For a minute, it sent home data no human had ever seen: samples of ionosphere, particles, magnetic fields, before the heat tore it apart. A signal that left Saturn took 83 minutes to arrive, so by the time we received the last heartbeat, Cassini was already gone. Its sacrifice wasn't in vain. The data it gathered still fuels new discoveries. From Saturn's perfectly aligned magnetic field to rings younger than the dinosaurs to Titan's methane lakes and Enceladus's ocean, Cassini proved Saturn is no simple gas giant. It is a system alive with mysteries, rewriting the rules of planetary science. The rings will vanish in 100 million years, the storms may evolve, but we lived at the perfect moment to witness them. Thanks to Cassini, Saturn is no longer just beautiful, it is unforgettable.